Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here's your latest integral of the day, and buckle up because this integral is going to take us for a wild ride. I'm already going to spill the beans. We're starting with integration by parts and then somehow ending up in trig substitution territory with a few sneaky algebra moves in between. I'm obsessed with this integral. I genuinely don't think I've liked an integral this much in a long time. And whether you're brushing up on calculus or just starting your calculus journey, head to professorvmath.com. I also just launched a free downloadable Calculus 1 survival guide, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it at the end. But let's just jump in. We have the indefinite integral of x times tangent inverse of x over the square root of 1 minus x squared dx. So pause the video if you want to try it on your own. It's pretty involved. First thing I went for was integration by parts because the minute I see an inverse trig function, I think, let's go for it. So what I did was I set up u as tan inverse of x, most naturally, and then dv is going to be the rest. So x over the square root of 1 minus x squared dx. Okay, finding du is no big deal. That's 1 over 1 plus x squared dx. And then as far as v, I suppose it depends where you are in your calculus journey, whether or not you can figure this out mentally. But if not, then we can just do a little side work, no shame in that. So we have indefinite integral x over square root 1 minus x squared dx. We're going to make a substitution. I can't use u because I've already used up that variable in the problem here. So I'm going for t. Let's let t be the quantity underneath the radical. It's called the radicand. And then differentiating dt would be negative 2x dx. Do I see that? I sure do. It's just all I have is x dx, no problem. Move that negative 2 over, so now it's negative 1/2 dt is x dx. And now I'm ready to rewrite my entire integral, all in terms of the new variable t. It's a pet peeve of mine when students learn u substitution and they mix variables in the integrand. It's not well defined. It's just bad to do. I can understand that it's easier to teach that way, but try not to do it, please. Okay, negative 1/2 indefinite integral t to the negative 1/2 dt. How do we integrate? We add 1 to the exponent and then divide by the new exponent. This negative 1/2 stays. Adding 1, now I have t to the positive 1/2. Divide by that exponent, multiply by 2 over 1, and then we have plus c here. So this is negative t to the 1/2. I'm just going to replace it now. It's square root. T was 1 minus x squared plus c. Okay, but for our purposes, for by parts, we don't need the plus c or anything. I'm just going to replace v now. I know that it's negative square root 1 minus x squared. So far, so good? Okay, beautiful. So from our by parts formula, we know we can rewrite this integral as the following. U times v, so you take this diagonal product. That's why I love setting it up like this. So that's going to be negative tan inverse of x times the square root of 1 minus x squared minus integral of the product of v du. Well, since there's another minus sign here, this is going to become plus. And then I have square root 1 minus x squared over 1 plus x squared dx. Okay, so now let's focus our attention on this bad boy. Where to go? Instantly, I thought of trig sub. I mean, this is screaming to let x be sine theta. So let's go for it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's say let x equals sine theta. Then I need to differentiate. So dx is cosine theta d theta. And I'm just going to leave this guy on the back burner. We're not going to keep rewriting it, okay? Because things are going to get intense. So now we have, or let me just say this little guy. So consider just this guy, right? Because we want to be proper, not pretend like we're working on the whole problem still. We're just doing this. We're just doing this, people. Okay. So then this would become now integral square root 1 minus sine squared theta over 1 plus x squared would be 1 plus sine squared theta, right? And then who's dx? Dx is all of this cosine theta d theta. Wow. Okay. Then from here, the beauty of trig sub is you use your Pythagorean identities. This is cosine squared theta. Square root of cosine squared theta, technically, yes, that's absolute value of cosine theta. When we trig sub, we restrict theta so we don't have to worry about absolute value. So this is essentially going to give me a cosine theta. I've got another cosine theta over here. So what do we got? Yes, we've got a cosine squared theta up top over 1 plus sine squared theta d theta. How we doing? Okay, now from here, I'm sure you can take a variety of paths to play around and bring this integral on home. What I ended up doing was, let's do some algebra off to the side. Yes? Yes. So a little aside moment. I rewrote cosine squared theta as 1 minus sine squared theta up top. Okay? So we've got cosine squared theta, 1 plus sine squared theta. Okay, so 1 minus sine squared theta over 1 plus sine squared theta. Now you could do long division, similar to polynomial long division, or you could do like a sneaky little algebra trick. So 1 minus sine squared theta is equivalent to negative 1 plus sine squared theta plus 2. Take a second, check. I'm not making it up. It's true factual stuff. Yes, do you see it? So if you distribute the negative, that's negative 1, negative sine squared theta. Adding 2, the negative 1 becomes a positive 1. So this is the same numerator. And I did it that way so I could split this denominator and write it under each of these terms here separately. If you're like, Professor V, I would have never seen that. I'll show you how you could do long division instead in just a second, but just let me enjoy being slick. Okay, so we've got this is one term. That simplifies to negative 1, and then plus 2 over 1 plus sine squared theta. Okay, boom. So I've rewritten my integrand. Now, if you're like, I would have never seen that, then from right here, you would just long divide basically. Remember polynomial long division? Oh yeah, it's basically, you treat it the same way. So you're dividing sine squared theta plus 1 into negative sine squared theta plus 1. So this would go in, multiply by negative 1, then you have negative sine squared theta minus 1, subtract, boom, 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 boom. This cancels. And then now this is positive 1 plus 1, and that's your remainder, guys. That's your remainder. And then you have plus 2 over, oh, look, the same thing. I just got there faster. Okay, cool. So now that's what we're going to integrate. This integral right here, I'm going to replace with negative 1 plus 2 over 1 plus sine squared theta. So we have, you have to tell the people, we know what's going on. Things have taken violent twists and turns, but we're hanging in there. Integral, negative 1 plus 2 over 1 plus sine squared theta d theta. Okay, so this is going to end up giving us negative theta plus, I don't know. We're going to have to do this guy off to the side. 2 over 1 plus sine squared theta d theta. Okay, so let's take a hot second. Focus now on this little beast. What do you want to do? Now here again, I'm sure, please let me know in the comments. There's a variety of things that you could do. I ended up multiplying top and bottom by secant squared theta because I wanted to do another substitution involving tangent. That just spoke to my soul. If that doesn't, call out to you, you let me know what did. I'm curious. I want a new color, guys. And you notice, no, I didn't do black background for this video because I needed to focus better. It does trip me up when I'm recording. Okay, so we've got integral 2 over 1 plus sine squared theta d theta. And I told you I multiplied top and bottom by secant squared theta. That's the same, if it helps you, multiplying by 1 over cosine squared theta, top and bottom. Okay? Now watch what happens. Watch what happens. It's not bad. It's not bad. We've done worse. So this is 2 secant squared theta over secant squared theta plus tangent squared theta d theta. And you're like, I'm not liking this, Professor V. Oh, but you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to let y be tangent theta. And then dy is going to be, yes, secant squared theta d theta. Do I have that? Right here, secant squared theta d theta. And then this is going to be y squared. And then you might say, but what about the extra secant squared? Have no fear. Have no fear. Y squared plus 1 is tangent squared theta plus 1, which is secant squared theta, is it not? Okay, so I'm going to replace that secant squared theta down there with y squared plus 1. Okay, so now what do we have? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have integral of 2 over y squared plus 1 plus y squared. That's 2y squared plus 1 dy, right? Ooh, okay. Let's just take the 2 out. It's pestering me. 1 over 1 plus, I'm going to write it this way, rad 2y squared dy. Do you know what the antiderivative would be? If you need to do a substitution, you go right ahead. It's just basically going to be tan inverse of rad 2y, but because of this rad 2, we have to divide by rad 2 when we integrate, okay? You can put it to memory. I just think if you understand how u sub works and you just have a constant, it's not that serious. So I encourage my students to skip doing like a full-blown u sub in this situation. But basically you're going to have 1 over, oh, actually, no, just a. And then tan inverse ax. Okay. Okay, so from here, just bring this 2 down, coming along for the ride. Then we're going to have 1 over rad 2 tan inverse of rad 2y plus c. I don't know which c this is. I'll call it c1 for now. Okay, then 2 times 1 over rad 2, that's just going to simplify to rad 2 tan inverse. Rad 2, who was y? It was tan theta plus c1. And then we had another term floating around from earlier, didn't we? Where'd you go? Ah, we have this negative theta as well. Okay, so let's put it all together. So then that's going to give us all together, just say we fetched our other child who we had left on the side of the highway. We have now negative theta plus rad 2 tan inverse rad 2 tan theta plus c1. Now, from earlier, remember we had that negative tan inverse of x plus square root 1 minus x squared. Everything was all in terms of x. So let's go there now. Okay, it's triangle time, people. Remember, we had let x equal sine theta. So that means x over 1 is sine theta. Draw a triangle for which this is true. So sine is ratio of opposite over hypotenuse. This missing side, just use the Pythagorean theorem. It's square root 1 minus x squared. So now I can say, all right, we've got negative. When you have lonely little theta, just come here and use the inverse trig substitution that was appropriate. So I'll just call it negative sine inverse of x plus I have rad 2 tan inverse of rad 2 times, okay, tangent theta, use the triangle. Tangent is ratio of opposite over adjacent. So this is going to be right here, x over square root 1 minus x squared, and then plus c1. Any cleaning up you see? I don't really see anything. Okay, so the final answer altogether, we made it, guys. We made it. And you know what? We didn't really have to rename constants. So here we go. Final answer is going to be negative tan inverse of x times the square root 1 minus x squared minus sine inverse of x, very good, plus rad 2, I didn't like that radical, not one bit, rad 2 tan inverse of rad 2x over square root 1 minus x squared. I'll just put plus c at the end and box it and call it a day. Okay, so that was fantastic. We started with integration by parts, ended up with a trig sub, had to do another substitution, and then I just feel like it came together in this beautiful answer. That's why I love integration so much. And if you want more help with calculus, you can keep learning with me for free here on YouTube. I have my video lectures for all of calculus 1, 2, 3, organized into playlists. I also have pre-calc, differential equations, and so much more. And if you want something more structured, head to professorvmath.com where you'll find my full calculus courses, with guided notes, practice problems, study guides, sample exams, and the best part, you get lifetime access. And if you're in Calculus 1 right now, make sure you grab my free Calculus 1 survival guide while you're there. It's completely free, and I made it to help you know what to focus on and how to set yourself up for a much smoother semester. Just head to professorvmath.com. All right, thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments, how did you tackle this problem? I'm dying to hear. Don't forget, you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Math with Professor V. Bye, guys.